3, 2, and 1. You're good.
Good afternoon, everybody. You're here live at Town Hall here in the Town of Montgomery with Supervisor Brian Marr and my good friend Warren Black. Warren, you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody. How are you?
First thing we're going to do is ask everyone who's watching right now to hit that share button. I'm going to do the same, so just bear with me. Dickie Baxter is usually here to tell me that we need to hit the share button, but he is not. Instead, we have Warren, who is much better looking than Dickie Baxter. All right.
I beg to differ.
I don't have us on. There we are. Okay. And Warren Black, you want to say hi? All right. So as I hit the share button, I invite you to do the same. Let's say VR Adventures Kickoff. Watch live now as we offer a free education program to the first 50 Town of Montgomery families that register. Please help us spread the word. I want to thank everybody for watching live. Excited to have my friend Warren Black here. I just want to give him a quick introduction. So I met Warren Black, who owns a company called VR Quest, when I was working for New York State Senator Bill Larkin. Senator Larkin brought Warren Black into his office several years ago, and Warren sold him on an unbelievable after-school program that deals with youth of today building their own nonviolent video games and learning curriculum, school curriculum, as part of that video game experience. So many of our kids are playing video games, many of them violent video games with things that we probably don't want our kids to be a part of. Warren took that desire and the playfulness of being able to partake in a video game and merged it with our education system, having Common Core approved curriculum, and really made it into a program that was truly inspiring. And it was amazing enough for Senator Larkin to invest in it. He was able to give Warren's company a grant, and they actually put this program into our own Valley Central School District many years ago, and it had a tremendous impact on students who are now about to graduate, students who are in college, and some of them were even inspired enough to become designers or want to become designers of video games themselves and to figure out coding and different types of issues. So this program that Warren established is something that I have still felt very, very strongly about in terms of its value. But before we get into the specifics of the program and what we're doing here today as part of this VR Adventures Charitable Fund Kickoff, I want Warren to introduce himself to our community. So Warren, go ahead. Tell the people who you are and what you're about.
Hi. I'm originally from New York. I live in Rockland County and very close to Montgomery up here. And I was, years ago, not only is VR Quest a game design program, but it integrates fully immersive virtual reality. And that doesn't mean you have to have a head-mounted display to play VR Quest, but you can just build your own game and you have the ability to put on a VR headset. But I had wanted kids to have an opportunity to engage themselves with video game design because they loved it, and it turned out to be a life. It was one project I did many years ago out in Silicon Valley, and now it's turned into an international company. And we basically bring VR Quest into schools for many years now, from Hawaii to New York, down in Florida, and we partnered with Hamilton Buell to bring it to educational institutions, after school programs all over the continent. And with the advent of COVID in March, we put our efforts towards bringing VR Quests into the home so students would have an opportunity to be engaged. I know that there's been difficulty having kids at home doing their homework, but kids want to play video games, they want to create their own games, and this is a safe educational way because it's aligned with curriculum to do so. So that was my goal.
Now, Warren, you spoke to me at length in the past about the value of early childhood education and how much more is retained when they learn through creating their own video game and learning the curriculum through a video game process as opposed to a traditional teaching process. Can you speak a little bit to those statistics?
Sure, it's a great question. You know, it's very simple answer to that. If I'm told to read a book about the pyramids of Egypt and must learn what hieroglyphics are, how they built the pyramids, what is the Great Sphinx, you know, after a few months my retention rate's about 20%. But if I'm a student and I have a chance to build my own game about Egypt where I'm a pharaoh and I have to find the lost mummy, and then not only do I research everything about what a mummy is, what hieroglyphics are, what the Great Sphinx is, and bring those into my game and share it with my friends online, my retention rate's going to be about 95%, if not more, because I own the game, I created it, I have a vested interest. So this was a unique situation for us to apply a technology with curriculum for students to retain the educational objectives that they have been given by the teachers.
And that's a big one, retention. I know when I was a kid, I would read books and books, and if it wasn't something I was extremely interested in, it was very hard for me as a young kid to retain that information. I always thought there was something wrong with me. I could read 3 chapters in a row, and I just couldn't retain the information in middle school, and I was always frustrated by it. So to take that ability to retain information because kids are interested in that video game portion, have it be nonviolent and purely educational, to me I was a little skeptical at first, but to see the program work within our own district here at Valley Central through Senator Larkin's grant, and to now see that you've adapted to COVID-19 and created a program that is based at home, it can naturally serve to assist our school district as an after-school program that parents, if you're watching, can be a part of. So this in no way is trying to compete with our school district. This in no way is a shot at the education process that is the most meaningful, which is being in school and being with your classmates and that important process that we want to get back as soon as possible. But in the interim and moving forward, it is a way for parents to engage their kids in what we would like to think of as a natural after-school program, even though we can't have them right now, or a summer school program because we can't have them right now. This is something that you can use as parents to engage your kids and get them to retain information and curriculum from grades 4 through 12 in a very creative way. So we are excited to announce this. I know that we are going to watch a quick video real quick, and Billy will let us know when we're cued for it, and to talk a little bit about this program.
I want to say one more thing. For the summer programs and for your kids, if they're not attending camp, one of the great things about VR Quest, it doesn't always have to be about curriculum. You can build millions of types of games at the student's own choice with their other students. With our social VR component, they can interact online in the games they create, but they can be about subjects that they want to write about, or excuse me, subjects they want to build games about. Maybe parquet or doing some sort of adventure. They're not limited by the curriculum outcomes that are part of the VR Quest program for the educational component.
Thanks for that clarification, Mark. Billy? You saw it there. That's just one promotional video, and this is something exciting that hopefully our parents and our kids, if they're watching this, can take a look at it and say, yes, I want to try this out. I want to try to build my own video game. And this is something that we're really excited about. Before I get into the charitable fund and the opportunity that exists currently right now for parents to take advantage of this at no cost, do you want to talk any more about the value of the program, what it means in response to COVID-19 while kids are at home? Anything else you want to talk about before I get into the charitable fund?
Yes, I think these unprecedented circumstances have caused us and school system administrators, teachers, bureaucracies, principals to change the whole construct, if you want to call it, of how education is now given to children. And we don't know what the future holds. We don't know if students are going to be in partial day school, if they're going to be doing a lot of their studies at home as they had to at the end of the year. But the most important factor is to engage students, whether it's in the classroom or at home, so they do the work. And without a doubt, without any teacher in the classroom or other kids to collaborate with, the home studies can be very difficult for kids and for parents. So very fortunately that we were coinciding our school product with our home product, and COVID actually had us reverse that, and now we're focusing on bringing schools VR Quest, but at the same time for those kids at home to be engaged. And that's the key piece here. It's very difficult when parents are working, doing things that they have to do. They can't be around their children for all those hours. Students need to be self-motivated. That is gone if you're at home. So, or it's not gone, it's just with very few students. So how do we motivate them? We give them something they like, something they want to do, have fun at, learn at the same time, and have ownership. Very important. Once you build your game, it's yours to share. So I think in that respect, we have a distinct way of taking a problem and solving it using VR Quest.
So once Warren came to me as the new town supervisor with this concept of creating this system here in the town of Montgomery and offering it to students and families, the first thing I wanted to do, because everyone's going through hard times, was figure out a way to offer it for free. So what we did is what we usually do. We partnered with the Community Foundation of Orange and Sullivan, Elizabeth Rowley and her team, her tremendous team, and we established a charitable fund called EDventures. Today is the kickoff of EDventures, and with the help of some fundraising efforts, today we are announcing that the first 50 families that register for this program will receive it at no cost. The goal is to continue fundraising, and anyone watching this to continue to want to sponsor and donate to the charitable fund, so that every single Town of Montgomery family who's interested in this program will be able to take advantage of it at no cost. And that is the goal for me. And today we are going to be taking registrations for the first 50 families that would like to take advantage of this program. If you are family 51, again, after more fundraising, we'll be able to announce more families to take advantage of this at no cost, so we'll keep you on that list. But if you want to register right now, you just have to email vradventures1@gmail.com, and that email is within the text of this video. It is vradventures, EDventures1@gmail.com. All you have to do is be one of the first 50 families to shoot an email over to that email saying that you're interested in registering for this program, and we will be able to get you started. We look forward to having more sponsors. We plan to announce all of our sponsors in the next week or two. We have a tremendous amount that have committed, and if everyone who's committed ends up donating, we will be able to offer this, hopefully, to the entire town of Montgomery for those that are interested.
I wanted to say one thing. Just presently, we are operating VR Quest on PCs. It will not, at this time, be working on a Chromebook or a Mac. That is coming in the future. And it should run on most PCs if you have an i5 chip, Intel chip, which is a common middle-of-the-road spec. And you can go back to a 5th generation and should be able to run the software. I also wanted to mention that we will have some support, I believe, Brian, at some point where I will be available, or webinars will be available if training is necessary, once those people who have downloaded the software. So we can arrange that as well.
For sure. And I have a comment already on the Facebook Live from our town historian, Mary Ellen Matisse, and she has an interesting concept. She says she's happy to help with the local history here in the town of Montgomery.
Sure.
Maybe there's a way to create everybody, it's great to have your own video game and create your own video game. I love that concept, but what about creating something that deals with the town of Montgomery history and creating a video game off that for those that are applying for town of Montgomery residents?
And it's a wonderful idea, and I'd be happy to, we associate let's show you the concept. We have if we do something on Egypt, we give the students an Egyptian scene that's somewhat complete, so they can either use that and use it as an example to create their home. I'd be happy to sit down with Brian and any other parties that want us to create a template specific to Montgomery and its history, and we can actually have that included and downloaded into the software for those who are going to be using it.
That's a great comment, Marianne. I'm glad you're watching, and we really appreciate that feedback. What a neat idea. That's pretty cool.
I mean, if there was a specific...
well, we had the Mastodon here in Town of Montgomery. So it's a big. We have so much history in Town of Montgomery in the 3 villages, but one of the biggest things that we're known for is we were the site of the very first full Mastodon skeleton that was ever created, and I believe it's somewhere else in the world, not even in this country, and it's being showcased, but that's a big piece of our history. We have the knife factories in the village of Walden. There's so much historical context in terms of the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. There's so much going on here in the village, all the villages in the town of Montgomery.
Sure, I'd love to have my people who do the templates, work with whoever would like to sit down, and we'll come up with something and we'll do it.
Cool. So we were putting out the email for this, and Warren and I were a little interested in just having the email be vradventures@gmail.com. So we realized it was taken, and then my wife just reminded me that we developed it already. So we're promoting vradventures1@gmail.com. But if you emailed vradventures@gmail.com, that would work as well. So we'll have to figure that one out. It was a miss on our part, but that's fun. Well, we were like, who else would have that email?
Well, thank God our wives are here to...
I don't know what I do with that, Becky.
To fill in the blanks.
I probably shouldn't even have started the live stream without just running everything by her.
That's what I do.
Thanks, Becky. Appreciate it. So we're getting a lot of people watching right now. We're getting a couple comments. I want to thank Mary Ellen for her comment. The most important part is for everyone to share this video. We're not going to go on too long. I think you got a good taste of what it is that we're offering here and the program that we have and the value that it has. We are going to do another live stream in a week or so to announce some of our other sponsors and to talk about some of the families that did take advantage of this and register for the program. We hope to provide some testimonials and really make this something that grows as we continue throughout the summer. So, Warren, do you have anything else you want to end with?
No, I feel very fortunate that we have an opportunity to work with your town and hope improve, kids' engagement at home in educational and not violent video games. There is a statistic, 99% of all kids play video games, and there's a reason for it. What we've got to do, and what as my life's mission, is to give opportunities for children to have a safe way to play video games and a safe way to collaborate with them and other students in their creation and playing them. And I think we're accomplishing that every day as we move forward, and the more people that get involved from the town of Montgomery, then the more kids will have the opportunity to learn with this great new technology.
Well, Mr. Warren Black, Senator Larkin believed in you. I believed in you over the years. I am so excited to partner with you on this and to offer this amazing educational program to our youth here in the town of Montgomery at no cost. And if you want to take advantage of it first and not be put on a wait list, the first 50 families today who sign up at vradventures or vradventures1@gmail.com, you will be able to take advantage of this first, and we look forward to you taking advantage of that opportunity. If you have any questions, you can use that same email. We look forward to getting back to you, and thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.